Ladies and gentlemen, fellow real estate professionals and tech nerds alike, welcome to another episode of the Tech Forward podcast.
Woohoo!
My name is Jake Youngs. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Tech, Jeffrey, Mr. Tech Raskin, more specifically. And today we are kind of diving into a mini-series, which will be multiple episodes on each of the different social media platforms. And today we kind of wanted to kick off our social media series with talking about the world of YouTube. Which YouTube is one of the biggest, most untapped platforms that real estate agents need to be diving into in today's market.
100%.
So with that being said, Jeff, I'd love to hear where you'd like to go with this, and let's break this down more for everybody that's listening.
Yeah, so YouTube, needless to say, is one of the most well-known social media platforms in the world. Can we say that? Other than Meta, right? Other than Facebook, I get it. But I would say, let's put it in the top two, top three, something like that.
It is actually in second place for the most popular social media platform.
Sounds about right. So, really big on YouTube, obviously. And I first want to get into the personal aspects of it, because a lot of people don't understand all the things you could do, even if you're even in your personal life, and then we'll get into the real estate realm of it. So I want to bring up something. I even brought my garb with me.
He's brought his ancient tech.
My ancient tech, which, by the way, the first ancient tech tool we're going to be talking about is this right here. Ta-da! Which, by the way, you have never seen this in your life, Jake. You have no idea what this is.
Or so you think.
Oh, well, come on.
Plot twist is I've got probably 20 or 30 of these still sitting at home.
That you used to play, dominoes with? I mean, come on.
Actually, yes, I did play dominoes with my VHS tapes at one point.
I'm sure you did. Now, the next one, ta-da, is this right here.
A roller coaster video?
See, oh yes, it is a roller coaster video from 2014 from Six Flags, but the actual media that it's on, do you have any idea what this is? Okay.
I would say that is some sort of a premature ancient media format. It's a DVD, guys.
Yes. A DVD CD, right?
A CD-ROM.
By the way, what does CD stand for?
You tell me.
I know what it is.
You tell me. I'm not sure what CD stands for. I'm sure I knew at some point, but I've forgotten what CD stands for.
Compact disc.
Compact disc, okay.
And by the way, you would be surprised what some of these other things, you would think that you would know what they stand for, but we always use the acronym, and a lot of people, they don't even know what it stands for anymore, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah. Have you ever seen that bad boy?
Cassette tape kind of thing?
It's not a cassette tape, but yeah, it's called a Hi8.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to have to go Google this one as well. I got all of them because, I'm old and bald, so that's fair for me. But you're going to have to go Google this stuff.
And then I've got my Disney Plus and my Hulu and all this other stuff.
A lot of people of our generation, and keep in mind, according to NAR, average realtor's age is?
A middle-aged white woman with a college degree.
That's absolutely right. And a homeowner on top of that. But the age is about 60, everybody. So think about this, right? The average 60-year-old realtor, anybody, was not born with a silver iPad in their mouth. Okay? Not a silver spoon, but an iPad. Dun-dun-dun. But, okay.
Hey, now, my iPad's graphite gray, okay?
I knew that. Okay. So here's what it comes down to is that we have a lot of media that we took, a lot of filming that we did, maybe so, maybe not, on one of these platforms back in the day. And the question is, how can we share it with our friends, our family, in other places in the world? And then how can we get it up to in our case, I'll call it the cloud.
Well, I've also got to ask, Jeff, when it comes to this stuff that we're talking about here, this old-fashioned technology, these personal videos, how in the world is this important with my real estate business?
That is a great question. So,
am I going to show a house tour recorded on VHS from 1995 and say this house is available in the same condition?
Totally get it. Although you could say, you know how they reenact photos and pictures. You're like, here's what I looked like back in 1975 in Disneyland, and then you go back 20 years later and you do that. Well, okay, so here's the thing. This is all getting up to the business aspect, because I did, to be fair, I said I'm talking about personal first, right? So when I talk to you about this, it's going to lead into the business.
Okay.
Okay, is that fair?
Tracking with you.
Okay, you're tracking with it. So here's how it goes, and I want to talk about this for a second. Once again, the biggest thing is, how do I get this so I can share with other people in the world? And so what I do, once again, going to the business, to the personal part of it, is I need to go ahead and somehow rip the video, right? Ripping the sound off of all of this, and then getting it up to the cloud. And in this case, we're going to be talking about the YouTube cloud, right?
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these things, and now you can either do it on your own. And by the way, you can go on to Amazon, and there are different ways. There's like 3 little wires, and you can plug it into the back of your VCR if you have one.
It's an RCA cable, by the way.
It's an RCA cable. And what it allows you to do is to actually plug that into your computer, and there's different ways of doing it there, USB-C, USB, things like that, and they do make those cables as well. Once you have that, what we have the ability to do is to take the videos off of here, put it onto your computer, and then once you put it onto your computer or other device, we can now upload to YouTube for free, my favorite 4-letter F word.
Love it.
How about that? Okay.
Love it, love it.
So what I'm going to recommend you do is to create a YouTube channel. Go Google it.
And by the way, just pausing right there, I do want to say YouTube is a Google product as of about 10 or so years ago, maybe closer to 15 now.
All right.
So if you do have a Google account, you already have a YouTube account. You just got to go to youtube.com, make sure you're logged into your Google account, and you're going to be good to go.
Great point. And actually really good point, because right, it's automatically already set up. But the other thing that I do want to let you know is that you don't need to use a Gmail email or a Google email to set up a YouTube account anymore. It used to.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
But nowadays you don't. So let's talk about a personal YouTube channel, and then we'll talk about a business YouTube channel. So the personal ones are going to be when we rip, once again, the videos off of here. We go ahead and we put it onto our computer, and then we upload that into our YouTube channel. And here's the best part of it all, everybody. You can now share it privately, because I know a lot of people, they also tell me, they say, well, here's the thing, Jeff, I don't want to share my videos of my kids and stuff like that with the world. And YouTube is available to everybody. No, it's not, right? You can go ahead and you can set it as basically a private video or unlisted video. And what that means now is that you could go ahead and share this with the world.
If it's unlisted.
Yeah.
If it's private, not so much. Only you can watch it.
Correct. And the best part of it all, share it with friends and family. And I'm telling you, people will love you, because they're like, how do you do that from the video from 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Fair?
Yep.
Okay. So with that being said, this is going to lead me into the business aspect of it. Now, there's multiple different ways of using YouTube in our real estate business. I'm just going to get down to the nitty gritty here, and I'm going to tell you some of the ways that I make money with it. Okay? So my favorite thing is our phones, which I believe you all have.
Hopefully.
iPhone or Android phone, I'm assuming, unless you have a flip phone. In that case, they're probably not watching our videos and listening
Actually,
to us.
flip phones these days do have
They
YouTube
do,
built
to
in.
be fair. Got it, to be fair. I think everybody has either an Android or an iPhone or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that you're my buyer.
Okay.
Now, would you agree that I'm going to show you 6 homes today? And as I show you 6 homes, by the time we get to home number 3, you already forget what the first home is. So, usually. So we start to call it the barking dog home and the old man in the rocking chair home. And that's kind of what we do, because we just forget what it is. So I know, right? I'm just being brutally honest, right? So how would you like it if I was to do the following? So we go to home number 1, and I do the following. So I first make sure that it's okay to take a video of the actual home that we're showing.
And how would you go about doing that?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways. You can go ahead and text the listing agent and say, hey, by the way, I just went through Aligned Showings. I went through whatever other showing platform you might be using out there, and would like to go ahead and take a video of the home for the purposes of my buyer so they could show to their significant other who isn't able to be here today, and to remember after they actually show the home. Okay?
Makes sense.
I haven't had too many people, actually nobody that I could think of that who's actually said, absolutely not, don't take the video. And if they do, whole different story. We can do this outside of the home, okay? But inside of the home, if they say yes, I think we're going to go there.
And most of the people that are concerned about having videos recorded inside their homes are kind of concerned about their personal lives being recorded, people having videos of their personal belongings, because what happens if they don't wind up selling the house? Now you've got this video of the layout of the home. It can be a whole debacle in and of itself.
Correct. And security concerns, and I totally understand that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the home. Listed agent said, yes, it's okay, spoke with their seller. Actually, did you know that on the ER, the exclusive right to sell, it actually has a box. Well, actually, it's not a box where it's signed. It actually says in there, hey, you understand as a seller that there's going to be real estate professionals, appraisers in there, possibly taking pictures and videos.
Not to mention the inspectors as well.
Exactly. So that's already in there. So if they signed it, I think that you're 99% there, but let's be absolutely sure that we get their permission.
I agree with that.
So now that we've gone through that, now I'm going to come to my buyer. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, hey, buyer Jake, would it be okay with you if I took the video of the home and then get your reaction to the home? What you like, what you don't like, the pros and cons on the home.
I would say that'd be a good idea.
Now, but some people might say, wait, what are you going to use this for? Why are you taking a video of me? That's weird.
What kind of social media content are you making?
Are you doing this for? But what I tell them is I say, let me tell you why I'm doing it and what's going to happen afterwards. So I tell them why I'm doing it, because we're going to forget super easy after watching, looking at our 7 homes that we're supposed to see today. And also to remind you, and then here's the other thing, you could share it with your family and friends privately where they can see what you saw, because once again, your significant other was not able to be here today because they're on a business trip.
Or even for your buyers, well, I would say buyers and sellers, but just buyers, like we've got a lot of snowbirds here in Arizona. So you've got buyers that are gone during the summertime that want a new house to come back to in the fall. So you record this video for them and put it up on YouTube for them to watch later on.
Which is a great way to go.
Yeah.
And that actually happened to me, that I'll tell you about afterwards. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're walking through home number 1, and as we're walking through, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to record it, iPhone or Android phone. I'm going to go ahead and record the kitchen. I'm going to record the bedrooms, the outside, all that other stuff. And then afterwards, I'm going to point the camera to you. I'm going to say, hey, buyer Jake, tell me what you like and what you don't like about the property.
This home's a piece of crap.
Yeah, and you can say that. But here's the thing. That's fine if it's a piece of crap. But why is it a piece of crap? Because what I really want to know, what I'm really digging for, is that when I look for other properties for you, I'm going to now discard all of the properties that have that same crap moment that you didn't like about this home.
Well, I mean, the exterior of the home is painted brown. It smells like turds on the inside.
There we go.
I'm being being facetious here, guys.
Right. So now that we have that, now that we understand the concept, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I film home number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
And then what we're going to do is, since I don't have it recorded on one of these pieces of media, I have it right here on my phone, I'm now able to actually upload it directly from the phone, directly to the YouTube app, into my business channel. I told you I did this from my personal channel. We're going to do this on our business channel. And now that we've done that, boom, it's already up there.
Okay.
Now,
I'm tracking with you there.
You're tracking with me. So here's the other things that you'll get there. You'll understand what I'm saying. The first question it's going to ask you is, are these videos made for kids? Okay, we're
Probably
keeping this,
not.
we're keeping this rated G. So this is going to sound crazy, but remember, put no, they're not rated for kids. And I know you're thinking about, Jeff, there's nothing really bad that you said. We're just talking about a house. But here's the problem, everybody. If you say yes, oh yeah, I didn't say anything bad. Sure, we're not talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It is rated for kids, but if you do it, they're going to scrutinize your video, and it's going to take you too long. They'll approve it, but it's going to take too long. So always say, no, it's not made for kids.
Because the thing of it is YouTube has that little toggle on there because they've got a whole separate YouTube for Kids app, which is meant to filter out a lot of the adult content, the stuff that's PG-13 and above.
There we go.
So that way there's a safer air quotes, because some stuff still makes its way through the filter.
Right.
But it's meant to be a safer platform for the kids. And kids don't need to be watching home tours anyways. Unless maybe we're trying to build a really long-term pipeline.
For 30 years from now. So now that we have that, the other thing is it's going to give you 3 options. Let me actually go back a little bit. It's going to give you the title. So I would say 123 Main Street, Phoenix, Arizona, and under the description, I'm going to go ahead and put in, this is the walkthrough that we did with buyer Jake on this time, this date. And the other thing I'm going to highly recommend is to always put your brokerage name and your contact information on there. And trust me, you're going to thank me later for this one, because number one, it's going to brand you, and you.
Yep.
When they share it with their friends and family in other parts of the United States or even across the world, guess what? Who are they going to call? Ghostbuster. I know, right. So
I was trying to think on that one.
Yeah. You had to think about it. So anyways, they're going to call you and they're going to be like, hey, I really like what you did. You're going to be good to go. And then also, it's another thing, if you do post this publicly, not that you would do it, but on other videos, it's also going to qualify as boring stuff called R428502, which when you're marketing a property, you got to go ahead and market the brokerage name. So,
R428502A.
Correct. Right. So now that we have that, now we got our information out there. We branded ourselves. They can contact us. And then the last part is it's going to ask you you get 3 choices. And it's
actually, hang on real quick. I want to pause and say something else. This kind of falls out of the category of recording videos of your clients walking through the home. But if we're talking about recording a home tour for your buyers or whoever you're recording it for, don't mention any specific names when you're recording the video. So usually what I'll do is, if I'm walking through a home at 123 Main Street, I'll usually intro the video that, yes, is being created for my clients. I'll intro it and say, hey everybody, this is Jake Youngs with ABC Realty. Today I'm here touring 123 Main Street, listing courtesy of whoever the listing brokerage is. And it's that generic, hey guys, right there that keeps it ready to go, not only for the buyers that you're sending it to, but you can also upload it on social media as well. You might want to edit it a little bit differently for social media, take out a lot of the fat, but you have content that's created for your buyers and content that's ready to create leads for you.
In other words, multi-purpose.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to be there recording a video of the house anyways, you may as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
so third point you're bringing up.
Okay, so what I want to say is that there's going to be 3 different choices you're going to have. First choice is going to be, do you want this private? Do you want it unlisted? Or do you want it public?
How do I pick which one is right for me?
Here's what we're going to do. So if it is for the public, which this particular video would not be, this is just for Jake and whoever Jake wants to share it with, obviously don't do public. But if it was a public video like you're making, as you just mentioned a second ago, a general video about a neighborhood, about an area or neighborhood that you market, go ahead and make that public, and that's where you would mark public.
Okay.
The very first one I mentioned is private. I'm not going to recommend you do private, because here's what private means. It means that I can send it to you or anybody else, but in this case it would be you. And when I send it to you, only the person with that email can open it up.
Yep.
So in other words, if I send it to, Jake at techferrari.com, that would mean that you and only you can open it up. So you want to share it with your friends and family, just showing what you actually saw.
Yeah.
They could comment on it, they wouldn't be able to do it.
And you try and open up YouTube, it does do a check to make sure that the email address that's opening it is the correct one.
Which is why I'm going to recommend you do this, what is called unlisted. And what unlisted does is that I'm going to be able to share those videos with you. And when I share it with you, here's the best part of it all. You can now share it with anybody you want. I know, it is mind-blowing. Because here's what's going to happen. When you share it with friends and family across the U.S., do you think that they're just going to be like, oh, yeah, that's great, nice home, and that's all? No. They're going to be like, wait, that's really cool. I've been thinking about buying, moving to Arizona. I've been thinking about buying a second property. I've been thinking about buying an investment property in Arizona. This agent, right, the real estate agent, that's pretty cool. I wonder if he can do the same thing for me. And there you go, and you do more business. By the way, it really, really, really does work.
That's actually a really good point. And there are a lot of good YouTubers that are in the real estate world that you can follow on 100%. YouTube, of course, that give you really good examples of how this stuff works. We'll talk more on that in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
I do like what Jeff is saying, though. Make sure that the videos are branded to you. It doesn't take much to edit videos, to drop some text in there. It doesn't take much to drop a logo or an image in there. Depending on how tech savvy you are, and if you're not tech savvy at all, then I might suggest that you have somebody else do this stuff for you. But anyways, back to you, and then we'll get into marketing sides in a few minutes.
I want to mention just a couple of other things. You can throw in your logo and it will watermark all of your videos.
Yes, that's in your account settings.
Correct. So in other words, you could do that. And so no matter what, it's going to be in there, and then people can go ahead and see your watermark in there. And also, YouTube allows you to edit videos. I don't think it's the greatest editor in the world.
It is very basic.
It's very basic, and it takes a long time. But you can splice. You can cut out, you can add intros and add outros. You can do some other things. Once again, it's not the greatest editor in the world, but you can use it to make it happen.
That totally makes sense. And by the way, guys, both Jeff and I have stuff going on as well over here with different coughs and things. So it's a fun time right now. As you know, we're getting towards the end of the winter here and into spring. So lovely time of the year.
Us and everybody else seems to be going around.
And I do also want to highlight as well for Jeff's purposes here, when we're talking about sharing videos with everybody, right? We mentioned this in our YouTube for Real Estate course that we have on our website, and we teach it live as well. There are so many different social media platforms out there, so many more than I can count. And statistically speaking, the average human being that is currently in existence interacts with, the number went up to 6.7 social media platforms on a daily basis. 6.7, that's quite a bit. Now, here's the problem. You can go between Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Most of the people that you follow or are friends with on the appropriate platform, they're going to be the same people. Not everybody in the world has all the same social media platforms that you have. So if you want to save yourself from the heartache of having to upload the video to all these different platforms, almost every single one of them, one way or another, will allow you to share a YouTube video directly to that platform. Facebook, directly as a post. Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, I would assume you can do it directly through a link. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing this.
100%. Although, a quick side note, by the way, if you don't have the TikTok app in your phone as of right now, I want to remind you, you can't go to the App Store and the Play Store and download it. So guess what they're doing, by the way? They're selling phones and iPads that have TikTok in it for like $10,000. It reminds me of Flappy Bird.
Holy crap.
I don't know if you remember this, right? And I'm going...
Yes.
Do you remember Flappy Bird?
I was a Flappy Bird player back in the day.
Flappy Bird, by the way, it went away from the App Store. People were freaking out, and people who can't get it or didn't already have it, they were actually paying for other people's phones just so they could get the app.
You know what the difference is, though, is that between Flappy Bird and TikTok, We saw 500,000 knockoffs of Flappy Bird, but we haven't seen any. Actually, I take that back. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, they've all knocked off TikTok, and they've done so since 2020. But anywho, back to YouTube.
Okay, got it. So what's going to happen is that we're going to go ahead, once again, put the title of the video, 123 Main Street, date, right? Walk through with Jake. We're going to go ahead and we're going to brand yourself. We're going to go ahead and put in the watermark of our whatever you want there, ABC Realty. If you have your own logo, you can do that as well.
Your mugshot,
whatever the case may be. And then make sure you do, no, it's not for kids. And then once again, I'm going to recommend the middle one. So you got private, unlisted, and public. Make sure you do unlisted. And then when you do that, you're going to go ahead and make, and you can send it out, by the way, in any format as you just said, but you could do it actually as a text message in a phone. And when it pops up on the phone, it actually won't just be this long link. It would actually show up as YouTube, and it will show like
it's got the thumbnail,
it's got thumbnail and everything. Stuff. It is phenomenal, and I'm telling you, not many agents do this, and you will be the hero. Promise you, you'll go sell more real estate.
And I do want to pause there for a second, just let you guys know one other thing. If you run into a scenario where the agent won't let you record a video of the home, or if the buyers don't want you recording a video of them, there is always the old-fashioned non-techie way to do it, where you could just give them, you can download a template for a feedback sheet. You could do that as well if your buyer's not very tech savvy. That is the thing you can do too.
Or if the buyers are okay with it, but the sellers are not, go outside. Go outside, get away from any possible microphones. A lot of people have a Ring doorbell.
Go sit in your car.
Exactly. And just say, hey, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like about it. You can still film me outside.
Grab my cell phone and just hold it like this.
Exactly.
What'd you guys think about the home?
What do you think about it, right? A lot of people are doing that. So I think that's a great way to go.
Yeah. What'd you think about the home? Yeah, give me good feedback or else.
And I'm telling you, everybody, go do more business because of that. It's a great way to go.
So let's steer this in a little bit of a different direction for the next couple of minutes. Let's talk about YouTube and marketing and trying to grow your real estate business. And guys, I've got to tell you, YouTube, I believe, I am pretty well dead certain on this because I've had so many people tell me this over the last year or so. I believe firmly that YouTube is the biggest, most untapped social media platform for generating real estate leads. Think about it. You jump on Instagram, Facebook, most any other social media platform, you get inundated with ads left, right, and center. Not to say you don't get inundated with them on YouTube, especially now that they're displaying 2 ads at each ad break these days. But here's the thing, guys. Just like with any other social media platform, but especially YouTube, I'm sure, Jeff, you'll agree with this, you have this opportunity to build this whole virtual pipeline of people that you can build a really good relationship with. Now, I'll give you a really good example of this. There is a realtor up in Calgary, Canada, one of my favorite real estate YouTubers. His name is Brad McCallum. You've probably heard of him at one point or another. This guy, I haven't checked recently, but as of December of 2023, he had, I want to say, just shy of 47,000 subscribers at that point.
Amazing.
Now, keep in mind, this guy, number one, he's not doing just real estate content. Like, there is additional content that he is creating. But I want to pause for a second, talk about the pipeline that this guy's got that he is building up. Think about this one for a second, guys. Yes, you may not have names, phone numbers, email addresses, and all this other contact information to stay in front of people. But what you have through YouTube is the #1 most popular medium format that people are tuning into these days, and that is videos. So you've got a database of 47,000 people that you're consistently releasing content to. He does home tours, he does real estate content, kind of like Jeff and I are doing sitting right here. And he also does vlogs, just life in Calgary stuff. You can go take a look at his YouTube channel. It's exactly what his banner says. It's exactly what he does. And this guy has given us prime examples of how to capitalize on this. So there is this massive untapped market. And tell me, Jeff, if you were looking to move to Calgary or you had some interest in it, like let's say you've been thinking about moving to Calgary since 2019, I hope you're not, but you've been thinking about moving to Calgary since 2019, and you're tuning into YouTube.
Correct.
You want to get to know what life is like in Calgary. What are you going to do? Well, maybe the first thing that you don't do is you're going to go to YouTube. Of course, you're going to go to YouTube for just about anything these days. Maybe you're not going to go directly to a Calgary realtor, but you want to find stuff that is relevant to the decisions that you're making. So all that to say, I want to give you a quote, and then Jeff, I'll let you take a little bit from there. When you create your YouTube channel, it's a little bit different than most other social media platforms, but YouTube specifically, you've got this primo opportunity to build virtual relationships with all of these people around the world. You've got an opportunity to build relationships because people want to work with somebody as a realtor that they know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust are always the three biggest key elements. I mean, when you get new clients, whether you earn them online or through an open house or through a referral, it's usually somebody who at least likes you and has somewhat of a level of a trust for you. So anyways, I'm kind of going off the deep end here, but Jeff, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so, and by the way, once again, even if somebody doesn't YouTube it, they're going to Google it, right? And when they Google it, everybody, once again, Google owns YouTube. So I just want to remind you of that. So it's going to come up on YouTube with YouTube stuff. It's going to
actually within the first 5 results, there's going to be YouTube videos.
And it's going to do it because of course, they want you to stay on the Google / YouTube, Google platform. So okay. So now we have our videos there. That's the personal aspect. But now let's get back into the marketing, right? So as you mentioned, and tying it back to what you just said about the Calgary.
Brad McCallum?
Yes. And well, not only that, but I'm talking about if I want to move there. So what are people going to do? They're going to go Google it. Now, once again, it's not going to come up with a buyer that they were working with and let's go look at this home. But if you make other YouTube videos about, as you mentioned, the city, the neighborhood, the subdivision that you live and work in, I'm telling you, it's going to pop up. People are going to know, like, and trust you eventually, and then go ahead and realize that you really know what you're talking about, especially about that neighborhood, about that city. There's a good chance that they're going to hire you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and by the way, do you think that you need a lot of equipment to make that happen? We have, lighting.
You have a cell phone. I mean, that's a good place to start.
I think another thing is that make sure good quality video, which by the way, all of your phones have nowadays, right?
So actually, there are cinematic movies being shot with nothing but iPhones these days.
Which is pretty incredible, right? So we're talking about super, super high def stuff. I think the other thing that people want to do is they want to hear good sound. You need to be able to be heard, everybody. Now, does that mean that you actually need a microphone?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, even the microphone in your iPhone these days is pretty good. I can't attest to the quality of the Android stuff, but the iPhones are pretty good.
Yeah, and by the way, Android makes some pretty cool things as well. That high quality, def videos, great sound quality as well. And by the way, I also want to remind you that YouTube has something called closed captioning. And that's already included. You don't have to pay extra. You can go in and just turn that on. It literally has a little CC button on it, and they can click on it, and they can also listen to you by reading in case they're at work where they shouldn't be on a video. So that's kind of what it is there.
That is a great point as well. So I do want to kind of steer us in a little bit of a different direction with the marketing. And one thing that all of us need to know about YouTube, more specifically, if you're using YouTube to generate leads, your content has to be what I would like to call hyper-specific content. And what do I mean by that? when you're looking to generate a specific type of leads, like we'll use the example of people looking to move from San Diego to Phoenix or vice versa. If somebody is currently living in San Diego and contemplating moving to Phoenix, they don't want to watch a video of what the differences are between Phoenix and San Antonio, Texas. They want a compare and contrast between specifically San Diego and Phoenix. They want to know what the similarities are. They want to know what the differences are. They want something to compare their current situation to something that they're contemplating moving into. So you have to be super hyper specific with the content you create. Now, all that to say, like if you're creating a video about San Diego compared to Phoenix, does all of your content have to be about San Diego as compared to Phoenix? No, absolutely not. And that San Diego as compared to Phoenix could simply be, oh, I'm going on vacation and I'm going to be in San Diego for a week. I'm going to block out an afternoon to record this segment of a video in San Diego talking about the differences between San Diego and Phoenix. And that video will last you a good, probably what, I'd say 5 years, 8 years, 10 years before it's got to be updated and changed again. So you definitely have to do that. But I would also say, like within your marketing, like if you're going to be serious about trying to draw people into Phoenix, you've got to showcase the lifestyle of it. Well, Phoenix, for an example here, you can do this for any place, but you've got to showcase the lifestyle of Phoenix. You've got to showcase the stuff that you can do in Phoenix, the homes, just like Brad is doing. So thoughts, opinions on that?
I mean, I agree with everything you just said.
Okay.
Obviously, I think it's a great way to go. I don't know if I can really add anything. I mean, you've pretty much summed it up. You explained everything, which is great. I'm glad you do it. Let's see. I don't know. I really don't have any major thoughts on it or anything that I can add to it of value.
Okay. To be fair, this is also Friday as we're recording this, so we're burning the midnight oil here.
Yeah, we are burning it.
So to that point, I would definitely say as well, the other major thing is just like any other social media platform, if you're going to create content for YouTube, guys, definitely be consistent with the content that you're creating.
You do have to do that, right.
And I would also love to hear Jeff's take on this one, because I know this is going to get you started on a mini tangent here. What do you think about all the people who try and record videos of themselves and stand there like a test dummy just looking like a stick? What do you think about that? Because I've got my whole own spiel on that.
Well, so in general, don't do that. That's going to be number one. But the other thing is not just standing there like a stick, but I would say don't be robotic. And not only robotic, but I'm talking about even the words that you say, which makes you also robotic, not just the actions, but also what you're saying. If you think that you're going to have everything scripted and then you're going to read the whole time like this and make sure, that's not going to work either. I have to tell you, all of our podcasts, we have no TV monitor in front of us where we're reading and we're going this and we're doing. There's none of that, everybody.
We've got an iPad with a timer on it. That's all we've got going on here.
That's all we're doing. So there is no scripted anything. We're doing this off the cuff. And let me tell you something. Do we make mistakes? Yes. Do we do every once in a while an and a yes, we do. But you know what? People like real.
Actually, let me pause you there for a second. All these all these bloopers that you have in videos, that's a part of people getting to know you for who you are, because people don't want to take a look at content that's been like, you watch a movie, right? You can take a look at a movie that's come out of Hollywood and it's been so edited, it's been so chopped up, it's been so color corrected and all this other jazz is going on with it that is fake, right? When you have a video like us, our podcasts, the podcasts are edited very, very minimally, pretty much just adding an intro and outro and some splicing here and there. But
very little.
You're seeing myself for who I am. You're seeing Jeff for who he is. And we're having genuine conversations about what we're actually thinking and what we know. People want to get to know you for that. And that also actually brings up a really good point. They want to get to know your personality.
Right.
People can go on Google or TikTok these days, or you can go on any platform and you can look up all the real estate stats that you could ever want to know. You can find all the houses you ever want to know, even by going on Instagram or on Zillow.com. People want to get to know you because they want to build a good relationship with somebody that's going to help them find their dream home. And if nothing else, say for example, you're creating content about the Phoenix area, there's a lot of really good accounts on Instagram that do exactly that you can go and follow to get ideas on. I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, but again, off the cuff, you may not necessarily be building relationships with people in Phoenix who are looking to buy a house right then and there or sell a house. But you know what? If people are seeing you on YouTube on a consistent enough basis, I can tell you, I know exactly who they're going to call when it does eventually come time to buy or sell a home. And don't act like the typical, I'm going to use the term very loosely, stuck-up realtor that's wearing the suit and tie in every video and picture that you take. Guys, if you wear polos on a daily basis, a polo and slacks like I do and like Jeff is wearing right now as well, wear that in your videos. If you typically wear a hoodie on a daily basis, wear a hoodie in your videos. You know, be you. You know, don't be this fake version of yourself 100%. That ChatGPT tells you to be, and then people meet you in person and find out you're totally different.
People want to know who they're meeting. They want to see the real you, and that brings up a great point. Now, you said you also had some other marketing stuff as well.
The circuits, I think, are kind of fried at the moment.
Yeah, I totally understand, and that's fine. This is a fine time to wrap up. I think we went through YouTube enough. Put this out. Use it in your personal life. Use it in your real estate life. Once again, when you're with a buyer or seller. And then to market yourself. But it is a very, very, very effective and inexpensive tool to go ahead and put this all together.
Most of us have cell phones already. Most of us can create a YouTube channel pretty easy. I mean, again, it is a free system to use. So I would definitely say, I guess the one final thing I want to say about YouTube, guys, and creating videos in general, whether it's for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever platform you're putting videos together for, guys, is it is not something that you're going to learn in 5 minutes. Like, putting together content is going to take you a good while, especially if you haven't gotten comfortable in front of a camera just yet. Don't be afraid to use a teleprompter if you have to. Practice with the teleprompter. Get to the point where you can read off of it without having any major issues and looking like you're just standing there reading a script. Get comfortable with it, guys. Don't look at Brad McCallum, for example, and think you're going to be perfect overnight just like he is. It also took him practice to get really good at doing what he does, just like it's taken Jeff and I a good while of practice to get good at sitting in front of a camera or doing stuff over Zoom. And I will also say, guys, if you really want to get to know the nitty-gritty of what you should be doing with your videos and all the settings and things like that you need to know, we do have the YouTube for real estate course on our website at techferrari.com that I would encourage you to go and take. Not because I'm trying to plug our course, but simply because there's so much really good and super in-depth information, somewhat similar to what we covered here, but way more in-depth than what we were able to cover in this, 35-minute podcast that we've just recorded.
Right.
So with that, guys, that's where we are going to leave you for this episode. We do want to say thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Definitely make sure to check out our website at techferrari.com and go take a look at all of our courses and programs that we have over there, including our latest and greatest brainchild, Agent Ignite. And with that, guys, we will see you in the next episode of the Tech4 podcast. Have a good day.
Thank you.